What's happening, everybody? It's Junaid here, and today I want to talk about how I build home studios and what are the different steps I go through to figure out what goes in a space. So, there's a software that I use, and it's a pretty cool software that helps me figure out what the camera sees. And I was struggling with it because I'm like, dude, why these numbers don't work? Because there are sometimes um, it might look the same. Sometimes it just doesn't look the same way. So, how do I do this? Well, let me show you on a studio space that I've already worked on, and that will give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Then we can go into building the actual space. So, let me make sure that I have the right scenes set up. It's going to go to here. Switch to the next scene. All right, before you see this, all right, let's go live on this one. All right, so here you see this is the application, and here I've laid out the room. This is a square room, and then here's where the camera is located. Here's where the guest and host are sitting, and then I've laid out different layouts for the same room. And then based on where these cameras are going to be positioned, you kind of get an idea of what the camera will see. Right, so let's see. So once I've done this, once I've designed the room and I want to make sure that it's as accurate as possible, then I go deep into showing you what that camera angle looks like. So I simply switch to the right camera that I want to choose. So we're looking at this camera, and I'm going to switch to the 3D mode so you can actually see what that camera sees. Now I can also switch between different camera angles and different rooms that I've designed just to give you an idea of what those shots would look like. So for example, with this guest room, you have the two people in here, and then you can switch between the guest camera and the host camera to see what that shot is going to look like. So pretty straightforward, pretty cool. I used to love thinking about architecture, and this I get to do that with setting up home studios, and it's pretty awesome. So let's go deeper into this camera. So now here is a setup that we had done for a studio space, which is a mobile studio space, and these are the different cameras. And I wanted to see what angle of view these had. 73.7, and this one's 51.5, which is actually the angle of view or field of view that the camera is going to see. That's the field of view. So what does this camera see? Let's switch over to this view, and boom, this is what the camera actually saw. We had the walls back here, the side walls and the back walls, and this is exactly what it saw. And I was like, I want to make sure that the angles are right, and that way you kind of get an idea of what you're actually seeing. So let me switch to there we go, the new design that I was setting up. So I have a room space in my house. It is a hallway, and I want to make sure that I can use this hallway to kind of get some dimensions, get some functionality, and I can like use this hallway as a secondary place to record video content or whatnot. So I keep flying away. So this hallway is actually not 6 foot by 4 foot. It's actually 10 foot, 8 by 5 foot, 8 inches. Now I was measuring the room space, and turns out that there's a little differentiation here, meaning I can't remember how to break this wall, but I'm gonna do a straight wall. put it over here and stop it over here. So now what's happening is that there's a discrepancy in this wall where this is actually wider than back here. So I want to make sure that I'm creating it as accurately as possible, and we're already always measuring the internal dimensions because we're inside of the room. So let me put this here. So this is actually going to be 5.6. Yeah. And let's make it smaller. Anyways, you get the idea. And then I have a door back here. And and this door is actually 2 feet wide. So it's a smaller door. And actually I put a closed door instead of a open door. Right here. I'm just looking over because it's literally the hallway walking into my office. That's a 2.4 inch wide door. And I can flip the opening on the inside. It opens something like this. And then I have an opening over here, so I can, again, doesn't have to be accurate, but it gives you a better idea of what is happening. There's a wall here. So let's say there's this opening here, and I can bust this wall out to kind of give you an idea. And then so this, let's see how deep this is, because yeah, so this is actually a much smaller opening. So let's close this up. It's about 36 inches. And then I have another door right over here. This is the door to my office. So I just have a small little space here. So what I did is I placed a camera right here. I guess I have to go up here to add a camera. And I placed the camera right dab in the middle and then pointed in this direction. So if I were to say this is 51.5 angle of view, you'll notice that this triangle changed. So let's zoom in to what I mean. So you'll see this triangle changes depending on the field of view. So the longer the lens is, the longer the focal length is, the smaller this number is, and this can only do 30 degrees, and it can go as wide as 90 degrees. So the wider the angle, the larger the angle, the narrower the angle, the further it can see. So I'm gonna go back to 51.5, and then let's see what I mean with the 3D view. So right now the camera is at 5 foot 4 inches. This is a really tall story. And I want this story to be 8 foot high ceilings. Actually, it's a lot shorter. Oh, what happened is this door. The door, because I had resized the door, it became a short door. So let's make this door back to 7.5 feet. Usually how tall the doors are at 7.5 feet, maybe 7.3 feet. I don't know, I gotta go measure my doors. Okay, I can't remember. Let's see, what else am I missing? But if you have any questions, drop in the comments. Thanks, Jordan Mendoza. Appreciate you. If you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer. I had this background in the back, or I can do this fire loop. All right, so that's my door back there, and this is what the camera sees. And then I had some photos here, and then I have another door over here. So let's put that door in there. And here I'm going to put a door open. And watch what happens when you look at the camera. The door is opening on the inside. No, it's not. It needs to open the other side, and boom, now you can see the door is open. And hey, 6 foot 10 inches is how tall doors are usually, unless you're living in a box. So now if I zoom out, you can see that I'm right by the camera. And just to give you an idea of where this camera is located, I want to make sure that it's settings. Oh wait, I need to go to the camera mode. Make sure that the horizontal is 90 degrees. Right, you're looking directly into that wall area. And in fact, I'm gonna build another room here. This is the bathroom, and this is another closet, about this wide. And I can actually move this part. Oops, got messed up. I'll just add another building over here, or a door here. So then I can remove this guy. Yeah. Reason I did this is because I don't want to see the outside. Okay, so this door got erased. Oh yeah. So delete that wall. Oops. Got lots of overlapping stuff. Let's just undo a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, how about that? And I'm going to do straight walls. So straight wall here, 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 here. And that way you don't see the outside from that door. Okay, there we go. So that's where the camera is located. You see a lot more top here. So let's move the camera lower a little bit. And the reason why 5.51.5 doesn't work is because I saw a lot less. 53.53.5. Yeah, I think that's about right. And then what I had is I put a picture frame painting right here on this wall. And then the camera, you can see where that painting is. Now my painting is not that high, so let's readjust this painting. And it's actually a 13 by 9. So let's adjust that. 13 inches width by 19 inches height. So now when you look at the camera, okay, kind of gives you the right dimension. And so one picture was like halfway showing, and the other picture is showing like this. So if I can get these dimensions even more right, I think it gave me a better idea. So it's not maintaining aspect ratio. So let's say 20 inches is the height. And 13. Yeah, so this is where I see it. So now I can be much more accurate on what I'm recommending. So let's see, from here to here. So based on this camera angle that I've selected, this is showing me, oh, it needs to be 5 foot 6 inches, which means This camera angle is wrong. So anyways, just wanted to showcase that 60 degrees, 73.7. And I've been using this chart that I have that gives me the idea of hey, this is how wide this thing is gonna be. So recent field of view. So I'm gonna show you this chart that I found on a website, and I try to calculate and be like, hey, let me see if I can change it. So let me switch to the numbers. So here are my numbers. This is the focal length, 10 millimeters, 16 millimeters. On the crop sensor, 16 millimeter has a 73.7 angle field of view. And that's what I saw, 73.7. But for some reason, it's not as accurate as I was thinking. Yeah, 53.1 is what it equates to. So then I said 53.1, and that's a little better. But again, there's a lot of number game happening here. Oh wait, it's not 5.6. Hold on. It's not 5.6. It's actually 4 foot 5 inches. So I had my numbers wrong. So let's switch back over to Live Home 3D. So instead of 5.6, this is the width is 5.6, and this has to be 4.5, which means 4.5 hangs right here. And let's see, where's my measuring tools? Just when you need a measuring tool, right? All right, I got some numbers. Got some better numbers. So this picture frame is actually 2 inches from the edge of the wall. And then this is right next to it. So now if I bring this here, 4.5, that means now my picture size is wrong. Come on. Ethan's asking, what application is that? That's a good question, my friend. What application am I using? I'm using an app called Live Home 3D. It's so you can design your home. You can design like all sorts of things in your home. It's designed for, it's basically for landscaping. It's for, you know, work in your home and figuring out what you want in your home. So maybe I have the dimensions of the frames wrong because it's not 1 foot wide. It's not 1 foot wide, is it? Only if I had a break music for you guys. Just when you need a measuring tool and you don't have one. This might do it. All right. For some reason, I've moved a bunch of things around. So it is 13 inches. And for some reason, it won't. 13 inches is 1 foot, 1 inch. Let's do 14. 14 inches, not 14 foot. And same with this one. 14 inches. That means this camera should be a little bit forward here. It's about 2 feet away, 2 inches away from that wall. See a lot more of here, which means my camera angles are still, let's do 53.5 or 54.5. I need to go smaller, 52.1. 55. You know, it's the best case scenario. And the reason I wanted to do this is so I can say, hey, this is the part of the room that you're going to see, and this is the part of the room that the camera's not going to see. So anything that's over here or over here. So let's say I have an easel over here on this corner. I don't know if it's in the fit. You can't see it because the camera won't see it. Right, so what else do we have here? So if you did want to put an easel in the shot and be painting on it, it would have to go back there, and then the camera would see it, and then you would adjust the height of the camera to say 5 foot or 4.5 feet. So now you can see more of the camera or more of the painting, and then you would then stand back here. So let me add a person to replicate what it would look like if you were standing. Let's add this dude here. Right, so here's the dude, and I can put him in front of the easel. Let's say he's looking at the easel, and you can say, okay, this is what you would kind of see on there. Let's say I added another camera and 4 foot, and then now this camera I can move around by going back and forth. And if you want to, let's say, get a wider angle on that camera, you can then move that camera around to say, hey, I want this camera to be over here. And now you'll see everything back here as well. So watch this. You'll see everything back there. And now you're looking close up. And maybe this would be at 6 foot or 5.5. Nope. So again, right, so this is not going to be in wide angle. So maybe you zoom in a little bit. And then you have the same camera back here. 4.5. Or even 4.2. So again, you're adjusting that camera from back there because of what you want to see. Ooh, so here Ethan's saying, let's go back to this screen. Ethan's saying, ooh, nice. I got into home assistance and I'm at the deep end of mapping out my home, and I'll check it out. So that's cool, Ethan. Can't wait to see what you do with the app and with how you realign, redo your house and whatnot. Right back here. So I am coming up on time when I gotta head out, but this kind of gives you an idea of if based on what you want to do in your room, based on how big of a room space you have, that's what you can do. So I've got a whiteboard over here in the back. Let's see. Whiteboard, blackboard, art. I don't know. I can put this guy here and this thing on top. So now when you look in the shot, it's kind of blocked by this guy, but if you move out, then you'll see this person back here. I can even put some track lighting and turn the lights on. There you go. So now the lights, you kind of see what the lights show. And then you can basically put these lights around the room. Kind of get an idea of, hey, this is the lights in the room. And that gives you a little better idea of what it would look like with the right lighting in the space. Of course, I didn't do it the right way. And I guess those other two lights are in the way out here. And that's not going to work. And that's why we have these different camera angles, so I can go inside. I need to zoom out to see what's going on. And so that's why sometimes I have this camera laid out so I can kind of get an idea. Okay, I want to look up. Okay, this is not looking up. This is looking up. This is tilting left. Yeah, so here we have a light. It's an art light for the ceiling. I could probably rotate it to say shine on the person, right? And I can copy paste another one and point it this way. I don't know, it looks weird because we're looking around. So now what the camera sees, the person is lit, and it's going to give you an idea of what the camera sees, what the light sees. I wonder if they have overhead lights. Let's put a wall clock here. There you go. Of course, I don't like it. Let's put some painting here. Dolly Dream. This is a really huge painting. So maybe make it smaller. I want to get a 15-inch wide painting. And you'll see that it's getting out of the shot because, again, that's what the camera angle sees, right? The camera angles only sees what it sees. So here we have Mr. Gentleman here watching a painting. If I were to bring another person, I don't even know what they call them in here. Miscellaneous. I have another person here standing in front of the camera. You'll see, because the camera is sitting at 4 foot 2 inches, you see a lot less. I mean, the top is getting cut off. So then, based on the height of the person, this person is 5 foot 6 inches tall. So I'll go to the camera, and I raise the camera up to 5.4 inches. It's really high. Bring it 5 feet, or 4.8 feet. The elevation of the camera. Is that the camera height? Or again, you can control and get an idea of what happens. What do you see? Export 3D view, render with Radon Pro Render. Let's see what this looks like. render. You see it? Oh my god, it's gonna take 1 hour to do it. Forget that. Stop that. I only have 8 threads on the CPU. Anyways, that's a little bit of what helps people understand how this room comes together. I want to show you some photos to get to show you a difference between where is it? Here we go. What the actual camera sees, right? Because I've done it in 3D. I've done it in the 3D application to show you, hey, this is what it's gonna look like. Now you want to actually take the camera in the room and see what the camera sees. So let's take a look. So I'm gonna go back to my view. I'm gonna switch the app that I'm sharing to this one. I'm gonna zoom out and then can I show you? Let me bring this back. How do I forgot? Never mind. All right, so this is me standing close to the camera, right? And this is me standing a little further back from the camera. But the difference is this is the image from the actual video that I recorded. And so let me hide this guy. So this is the image when I recorded the video at 1080p. And this is the image when I took a photo from that camera. So that kind of gives you that, hey, what are you going to be blocking based on where you're going to be standing in the shot. Here I have another shot which I was playing around with, and I guess I moved. This was shot in 4K, meaning I changed the camera setting to 4K to record 4K video, and you'll see the crop factor very apparent in the shot. Now I'm not standing in the same spot, of course, but I've kind of matched it up to kind of give you what it means for a crop factor. So even though I have the camera is in the same position, but because I'm shooting in 4K, now I need to put the camera a little further back because it is cropping into that sensor to give you a higher quality image. Now this is the crop factor when you're recording on some of the cameras. Other cameras don't have this crop factor, and they can still do 4K image video without a problem. So again, I'm just kind of lay out this on the same spot. So that's a 4K crop, and then this is the image. Let's bring this on top of here. So again, 4K video, 1080p video. So 1080p video is actually using the full sensor size, as opposed to the 4K videos using portion of the sensor. Because if you think about what 4K resolution is it's 38. Anybody know what the 4K resolution is? It's 1920 times 2. Yes, so it's 3840 by 2160. So now the reason this image looks bigger is because I enlarged it to match the actual photo. So you kind of get an idea of what's getting cropped out. But this is the 4K, so the 6,000 pixels by 4,000 pixels. All right, so let's write this down here. And black, 6,000. Oh my God. Can you go away for a minute? All right, so this text is very tiny because it's 10 pixels. Let's make it 100. So because this camera is 24 megapixel, a photo is going to be 6,000 by 4,000 pixels. Yeah, 4,000 by 6,000 by 4,000 pixels. So that's 24 megabits. And then the 4K resolution is 3840 by 2160 by 2160. And that's why you see the crop. So it's just going to this size into the sensor and bringing you that image. So if I were to hide this again and show you this, hide this one too. If I were to draw a rectangle, actually if I just look at this and make this 3840 by 2160, that's essentially what it's doing. It's literally cropping into that sensor and giving you that image. Now some cameras will double the sensor. They'll capture a higher image, but then they'll only give you, they'll resize the image. But that's 4K crop when you're looking at. So that's 4K. And so what would 1080p be like? So 1080p is using the full sensor width of the lens to give you a full image. So even though you have a higher, where we go? Let's close this. Even though you have a higher resolution image, you're cropping in a lot more. So you see a lot more details. Why not? Philip, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. So you want to plan out your camera, you plan out your room based on where you're going to place that camera, and then decorate the room after the fact. Now, the reason I start with room analysis first is we want to understand the room first, and then you want to start laying out the room. But then before you even start laying out the room, you want to see, okay, what area of my space is going to be seen in the camera. Just like you don't see any of my desk over here. You don't see anything from this point forward. You only see everything past this point. Where do you go? This point forward. So that's why I have the secondary camera angle to show you, hey, this is my mess that I see, my lights and everything. But this camera up here doesn't see any of that. So again, planning your room according to that gives you a better idea of where to place that camera, how can you design the space, and how can you utilize it in the most best way. And a lot of the reason why people sit in front of the wall is because, like, hey, I've decorated this wall, I'm gonna sit about this far away from the wall. Then you're limiting yourself in where your lighting is gonna go, right? If it's gonna be on top of the wall, surely it's gonna be the camera's not gonna see it, but again, you're gonna be so close to the wall you can't have separation. So the lights I have back there, let's see if I can show you in this other camera angle. Only if I could zoom out even more. But I have two lights back there. One is shining on the bookshelf, the other one is shining on me, and that's what gives you this glow kind of thing. Anyways, that's all I've got for now. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm gonna be experimenting a little more to understand the numbers, to understand the field of views, the field of angles, and then kind of give you tips on, hey, forget about all of this area to decorate, but decorate all of this area back here, because that's going to give you a much better staged look. Right? So when you walk into my room, there's a bunch of junk that's in here. It looks fine because it's all blurred out. But if it was unblurred, you would see a lot more junk in my shot. I'm like, what? This is not fun. So again, I'm going to go back to showing you what that image looks like in my shot. So I wanted to close this prototype view inspector. Yeah, so I can see more of the room. So that's the image, 654, and this is 38 by 36 by, or 3840 by 2160, which is basically 4K. So let's put it over here. Let's put it over here. And then so it's cropping into that sensor to only get that area to get you the best. So then you have to step back. And then you'll notice in the image, I'm not seeing any of these walls in that shot. None of those walls. But as soon as I go this way. As soon as I go back to this regular one, I see a lot more of the walls. And I think there was a shot. Oh, I forgot to add it in here. There was a shot where I had put photos over here and then kind of gauge, hey, how far away is this from? All right, Philip's got a question for us. Let's take a look. Question for a future stream. What one camera and mount for a sit-down desk and raised standing desk? Excellent question. Thank you so much. I love that question. I could kind of answer it right now. The camera that I've tested and the shots that you see in this image right here, I'm using a Canon M200, which is a discontinued camera. Canon's decided to discontinue it, but a camera that comes very close to this. Let's go to this. The camera that comes very close to this layout is the Sony ZV-E10 with a 16mm f1.4, which is the same lens that I'm using. The cool part about that camera is that I don't think there's a crop factor involved when you're shooting a 4K image. So I think it uses the full image for a 4K shot. So you would not get this. You would instead get this full shot on your 4K image. So that's a really good camera, and that's a good lens as well, because it's actually equal to a 24mm. So how does that work? Crop factors. So a 24mm lens actually times 1.5, you get a 24mm. So sorry, this is 16 times 1.5, you get 24mm, and that's what you kind of see on that same lens. Great question. I want to go more into details in that question in the next stream. Thank you so much again, Philip, and we'll talk about the desk and the mount solution for that as well. Take care. Have a good day.